Hi, Shawn. I know you can't see me, but I know you're there because I'm in my skin. I learned something today about myself. Being hungry is a trigger. I woke up this morning. It's some day, I don't know. It's not too far from last time we talked, but the morning went well. Earlier I had resentment over buses and stuff. Buses are running. They're running all around. I have a bus pass, 30-day, totally good. But I want to do things on my own. I don't want to have to rely on the bus because I don't want, because they don't run all the time. So I had a 9:45 appointment at the restoration house for my living conditions. And I had an 8:50 appointment at the labor force place. You can probably hear me smacking gum because I found out today I have a trigger, and it's being hungry. Anyway, long story short, I volunteered because I had lunch duty, no problem. Chore duty, typical. And then I went to the kitchen to ask about a dinner. Could I volunteer for dinner too? Because I can't have free time on my hands because I can't trust myself. And so I went back to the restoration house to fill out this application for my living situation. And long story short, I missed dinner. Oh, somebody was nice enough to give me a bowl of soup, right? Well, I ate that bowl of soup. It was hotter than cuff. But like the pancakes I cried in, couldn't breathe and almost suffocated on. The soup, I burnt the crap out of my mouth and I ate it. And I turned it in, and then I kind of saw a fellow who was late for lunch, like and they gave him some watermelon and a brownie and a sandwich, and I was like hungry, and I'm like, so I hung around a little bit more, and then I saw the main, the guys in charge of the kitchen, right? I can't remember his name right now, but I said I missed dinner, and everything was going good, right? I totally lied to him because I didn't quite, I didn't actually miss dinner. But the dishwasher guy, who I don't have resentment for because he mistaken. He's all, wait, weren't you just doing cups for me all day for dinner? And I'm like, no, I missed dinner. And he's all, well, weren't you the cup guy? And didn't you just turn in a bowl? And I'm like, yeah, I just ate a bowl of soup. And then I looked at the chef and I go, yeah, I just lied to you. And then and he's like, no, sorry, you can't have any food. And I just kind of calmly walked away. Said, sorry, thanks. I can figure something out. And then I went outside and I called Megan. I almost slipped. See how that just kind of downward spiral? Almost called her my P.O. She's not my P.O. to me. She's Megan, person like me. And I know she's not there, but I just wanted to let her know what's going on because that's her job, to know what I'm doing and what's happening. And I left a message pertaining to I have a trigger and it's hungry. But good news, what I did to miss dinner is getting me closer to getting my ID, which is getting me closer to getting my food stamp card, which is getting me closer to food, which I realize is a trigger when I don't have. And then I called Dee Dee, and then she's my second support, to where she's willing to just to listen, just to listen while I just dump it and go, wah, 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 poor me, And the battery's gonna die, but I gotta make this quick. But anyway, I went outside, right, and then it was chapel. I kind of walked around going, fuck, what do I do? And I called my buddy, and I says, hey, can you bring me some food or some money? And then he's like, well, it'll be a while, because he lives out of town. He's going to take a shower. And it'll be definitely after 7:45, which I knew I couldn't leave. So I told him money's useless, so bring me some food. He's like, okay. So I went back to the mission, and I asked the person that's going to run the window who's going to get the food that's handed to him. And I said, I'm hungry. I missed dinner. And he's like, well, we got to make other accommodations, and I understand I'm irresponsible. And the same person that I cried, I cried because I missed, check-in time, and he thought God's with me, and I'm cool. And so I'm realizing that I have a trigger. I didn't cry. I'm fine, and then I realized, I asked him, I go, can my friend bring me food? He's like, well, no, you can't have any food. And I'm like, and then I went outside, and I told the person who I asked if, food, will they bring me food? Can my friend bring me food? And he's like, oh, I know. And so I told him, I go, fuck, no food, I can't do it. And I told him, I kind of screamed, I said, man, if I had a pipe right now, I'd fucking be hitting it. I'd be fucking hitting it hard at that time. Because I realized that hunger's a trigger, and I would smoke crystal methamphetamines to make that hunger go away. And now I realize why I missed that thing of peanut butter in my pocket, because that was like my thing that since I didn't have food, I would reach in my pocket and grab a pipe, which I used to do. And then I tried to change my behavior, so I had this peanut butter in my pocket. So when I was hungry, I'd reach in my pocket and grab some peanut butter. And I don't have any fucking peanut butter in my pocket, which is my own fault, because I have to have responsibilities to do this on my own, which I am doing. Thank you, Shawn, for loving you. Anyway, I am in this new secret place that's like in between two buildings, and I'm like literally, as you hear me, I'm like if I flex my muscles, it squishes me. These buildings are so tight. I will show you later. It's and on the way here, I just went after I screamed, I've been hitting a pipe, and I don't want to use, so I took a lap around the fucking parking lot, or around the block. And as I did, I seen some gum, and I ate it. I know. So I picked some gum off the ground, and I'm eating it. Because I have an issue of drugs and using and dysfunctional behavior. And then I walked some more, and I found a cigarette butt, and I saw that it was over a half inch, right? So I picked it up. And I went back to the mission because I knew my friends would give me a lighter to help me with my problems or addictions, either if it was to use or not to use. I knew I could trust them to trust me when I said if I need a punch to the face, they'll give me a punch to the face. But they have problems too, so if I said, anybody got any meth? And they'd go, I do, and so I have to be careful. I can't trust myself. Anyway, I asked for a lighter, and there was nobody. And then a friend of mine who's like, he's addicted to nicotine, because I've seen him like, everything's all fine, but I need a cigarette. And so, I can recognize his problem, because I have that problem. I will give that Rookuff all the cigarettes all day, and he would give me all the peanut butter all day, and we would just sit back all day long and use peanut butter and cigarettes and be happy. Anyway, I offered him a drag of the cigarette, and he's like, no, you take it. You sound like you need it more than I do, because he has a nicotine addiction and he recognizes it. And I said, no, it's a food problem. I have gum. You can have the rest. It's just psychological. So I chewed my gum even harder. And then somebody walked up to me a little too close, and I saw that he had a grocery outlet bag and it had food in it, so I had to walk away. And then I walked away, and then I said I can, and I go, I picked it up, and I walked back to the same fellow who I said, hey, I have a problem with that food and blah blah blah. And he's like, well, I don't know, ask him. And I walked up to him. I was like, hey, here's a can, because I've seen you have cans before. And here, don't be surprised one day I give you a big can of bag cans. And Because I threw them away all day. With the friends I used to have, and I throw their cans away, and I resentment over it. But anyway, he told me, and somebody else said over his shoulder that they don't take those. It should be illegal that they even have those, that they're metal and they're aluminum or whatever. They're not recyclable. And so I was like, oh, that sucks. And as I walked away, I took about maybe 30 steps, and I crushed the can in resentment. And I walked about 50 steps, and I threw it on the ground, and I stomped on the can in anger. And then I went around the corner, and I punched a pole with my hand that was metal. And then I walked a little further, and there was a fucking light. It was just big in diameter, and it was metal, and it was hard, and I knew it was going to hurt when I hit it, so I hit it soft, and I hit it 5 times, and the 5th time was really hard. And then I walked a little further, and then I found this little cove in this little tiny space, and it looks like it's just enough room for me. And then I came in here, and it's like really safe. And then I go, hey, Shawn, you have a trigger, and it's food or something that causes anger and lying and almost stealing, because like I said, he had a grocery outlet bag of food, and I didn't want to go to stealing or using, but I was willing to go to anger and lying really easy. Tomorrow I have to remind myself to say I'm sorry and let the cook know that I have issues with food and I can't be trusted in the kitchen anymore because I will steal and lie for food and anger controls me. And I have a problem, and I'm getting closer to controlling it. And I found a safe space. It's safer than it was before. So God is with me. I love you, Shawn.